Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Tuesday the 27th of July, and starting with the ASX on the daily chart at the moment. So we're looking for 5 more waves up here to complete wave 5 or 5 of 3, and then we'll have an ABC correction for wave 4 that will be quite time consuming. But yeah, that's sort of where we are, and CBA is sort of a bit of a guiding light on this, being, you know, one of the being sort of central to the financial system. So CBA is also in this wave 4, so we'll just have a quick look at that as well. So with CBA, we're going from wave 4 to wave 5 here, or 5 of 3. So we'll just keep these guys in order here. I don't think we need that anymore. So yeah, in a nutshell, we're looking for 5 waves to the upside here for this. So there will be the 5 waves that we could look at with the ASX as well in that regard. So yeah, so we've got a position here under the level. You may have, or a position over the level. I don't personally, but yeah, there's nothing wrong with this particular trade. The safer trade would be to have the 100 as the support, but this move here is not impulsive; it's corrective. So even if this wave 4 got any bigger, you know, we put it, because they can just double in size, so we just always need to be mindful of that. It would be something like that then. So it's not you wouldn't need to exit unless you were trading CFDs, and there's no need to trade CFDs on the long side. I mean, in the old days with the CFDs, they used to pay you interest for shorting the market, but now they charge you, clipping your ticket everywhere, and it's very expensive to trade CFDs. So yeah, well, if you close out before the end of the day, then you don't pay the overnight finance, so then that's okay. I mean, the fact that the CFD providers brought shorting to the market in Australia, I've got to be thankful about that. But you just got to be careful how you use them, you know. They're like banks. So yeah, let's just quickly go in here and just check on this thing here. The move up from the low, rather. I mean, I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which seems to be quite good at this point. But anyway, we'll clean this up tomorrow. We'll look at this tomorrow. So I'll just put this, copy this here as a little wave 1. And a wave 2 to pull back. So it could pull back into the 98 or below into group 2 of 98. Let's just see how this plays out here. But the good news is, right, is that whichever way I count this to the upside, it's still 5 waves here. It's not 3 waves. So because we've got 5 here, after a correction, we'll get another 5. So obviously I was just shooting the breeze, talking here about something or other, God knows what. But yeah, we want one position below the level and one position above the level there. So anyway, we'll sort this out. That can just be 1 and 2 there. We'll see how that plays out. It's quite nice, strong third wave here, you know what I mean? So I think, in fact, we'll just run with that right now. So we'll just leave that out of the way here. I mean, the reason I'm just focusing on this for a second, because this will be where CBA, where the other guys are at, you know. Too many ones. We'll need that up there. We'll need that there. That's going to be further up for that wave 1 and wave 3 there. So we don't need these other guys. I need the space. Okay, well, anyway, that's That's sort of where we are at the moment. So we're looking for wave 3 and 4. So that wave 3 should be longer than that, and then that will bring wave 1 over here somewhere, and then wave 2 over here. So yeah, we'll be able to build in on this as well, but just the fact that moving above this level here, you may even want if it pulls back here, because we've got 5 waves here, that means that you can buy it back in the box here, if that is indeed the 61.8%, which we also should just check as well. Well, the 10 mil rule in the Australian Building Code. Okay, so yeah, something like that. So right, let's move back to the ASX and finish that off. But it was just important to look at this. Do you know what I mean? It's like this correction here hasn't been very kind to us. I mean, it hasn't been awful to us either. We've just observed it. Lucky, we knew what we're doing. But yeah, the outcome of this now is seeing that impulse wave there. That's a positive, and yeah, so back over here with this. So in a way, we've also, like the US markets, we've been looking for wave 1 up here, and we're looking back for wave 2. So we're just, do we have a top in there? I mean, it kind of, trends have got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and this is certainly spending time in roughly the same place. It's kind of creeping, isn't it? You know what I mean? It needs to rebalance to re-establish itself. So a little correction would be good at this stage. So let's just go to the intraday. This is the 4-hour chart. So yeah, look, in a nutshell, we were looking for, well, we can leave most of this here. We're looking for the top. It looks like the market wants to push up, but far as I can count, that is the top there. The US markets have still got a little bit to move up as well. So I could be wrong here, but I'm thinking it's sort of like this. We'd definitely be going in to have a look at this. Let's just get an idea where this can pull. Not that they always pull back to the 61.8%, but it's always good to know where that is in that regard. And obviously we need to move that along there a little bit. It's all a bit fiddly. I mean, if that is wave A here, then wave C is not going to be a biggie, and this trend line that's coming through here is really going to play a part in that. So we may not pull back too far here. And we also need to be mindful too, because in the US it looks like we can go a little bit higher. So I'm thinking we come back here, but come back to something like this. Well, the US hasn't really corrected yet either, so that's the other thing. Let's just go to the intraday here and have a bit of a closer look at all of this. So this is what I was looking at yesterday, counting. We'll have a close look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here for this. So I was looking at this being the top here for this. And then I move down. I can see that at minimum we've got a little push to the upside before we get that. I mean, we may just come to here. That looks 73.50. That looks pretty good at that point, and then up from there. But the trouble with that is that the US markets haven't had their correction, because they're doing the same thing as well. They're moving up for wave 1 and moving back for wave 2, but they haven't started their wave 2 back yet. I mean, Australia can lead. I've seen it many times before. Lead the S&P. So yeah, we just need to be a little bit mindful that, this could be, let's just say that I've got this wrong for a moment. Okay. If I've got this wrong, then this would be wave 1 here and 2 here, and then would be going up for wave 3, 4 and 5 and having a top up here, and then having the correction at this point. But I've gone over the wave count. I can't kind of see it. We'll just go to the 15-minute chart and just shoot the breeze on this for a moment. So yeah, in a rough way, we're looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and wave 3 and 4 here, and we can go in and have a look at that a little bit further. And then moving along for wave 5 up here, and then looking for the A wave, the B wave, because if this was going to be a B wave here, I mean, that would be the A wave. This would be the A wave coming down, and this would be the A, B, and C here. And with that, we can see that this would be 1 and 2 and 3 here and 4 here, so that won't drop much lower. And then we'll get wave 5 here. So that would be the ABC, and then we'll have to come down from that point. But yeah, I mean, we could also view this as being bullish here with wave 1 here and 2 here, and then 3 here and 4 here and 5 here, and then coming down here as well. I just can't see where I've gone wrong here. I'm going to go to the 100 ticks and just check on this for a moment, and we'll just go through this together so at least you can see what mistakes I've made. One of the first mistakes here is I never really got a nice 5-wave move up here, so I put wave 1 on top of a bit of a truncated sort of 5th wave, which doesn't really suit as well. So not that it matters that much, but I think really that needs to go back there, because I can, well, that's in 3. So yeah, no, I'll leave it there. But 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, but not taking out the top there. So that was a problem. The third wave, from this wave 2 here to this wave 3 here, I was looking at this as 1 and 2 here, and then 3 and 4 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, and then the fourth, and then the fifth. So that's okay. This wave 3 is a little bit sort of dodgy, but it's kind of like the best fit. So that's where I am. I'm left with that top there. So we just got to see how this plays out, really, I guess. So what we can do from here is, let's just say that this, we can look at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for this B wave. Still doesn't take out the top, and then it drops from that point, comes down here. If you can see the market pushes up from this current low here, that would be 38.2% retracement level from here to here. So that's all pretty good at that point. Yeah, pretty close. So we're kind of there already. There may be another little low in there, not to worry too much. But if you see this push up here, right, which will look a little bit like this one here, this one here will be very similar to this one. And then if it turns from that point, that's all good. The only thing is that if it was going to be bullish, if you take that low here, this is where it could push up one more. So from here, it could push up from that point. So then this top here becomes quite important at that point. But I don't think it's going to go far, you know what I mean? But I could be wrong. I mean, my normal way of approaching things, if I'm unsure, I'll use the trading levels. So this is, well, 400 obviously, and 10, 20, and 30 here, and then we'll have the 50 here. So I guess if you've got a classic trading levels pattern sitting on top of group 1, the 74.30, then you can go long from that point. So you would need something like this here. So if that was the level going through here, we would see the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, blah, 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 and then over here. So that reference point is a trigger for the long side, then the second one, and then this one down here as well. So that will all be at the 30. So you would want something like, you'd want something solid like that to trade long from this top point here, because we'd be looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Basically this first high above the level here, that's the one that you'd be looking for as your reference point. So if that came down here in 3 waves, then it could go up from that point, and that's the point that you would go long from. If you're up here, right, and the number 2 here, the 74.20, the number 2, the 2, the center of the pivot within group 1 here, if that becomes the retested resistance here, and that would be the same thing as well, the arrival, the reaction, the first low below the level, and then an ABC correction here that may or may not go back above the 20, and then down from there. So you'd have that low to go on and that second low to go on, because when the market's been trading above here and then comes back down and finds the 2 as the resistance, that pulls it down to the closest largest number, and if that's the case, then it will be pulled down, and then that way you'll know that you're in group 2. So if it trades above here and then the number 20, the number 2 here becomes the resistance, you'll know that the market's going to be pulled back down, and this is where you are. So the number 3 here will take you on the long side, and the number 2 will take you on the short side. Not that you'd probably really want to trade against the trend in this instance, by the way, because if we've got resources and banks, which we may have being on the same side, being bullish, that means that this move up here is going to be quite strong, right? So just be, you don't want to be holding short down here in that matter. So yeah, anyway, that's sort of where we are. Let's see, we've been waiting for this top to pull over. So now we're just discussing it, I would be wrong if the 30 became the support. And then we'd still have to look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and consider a top up here somewhere for this in line with the US markets, because the US markets haven't pulled back in their 5 waves to the upside. In fact, this is their 5 waves here. So from the low here, I'm just counting up 1 and 2 and all the way up. So they haven't quite finished yet either here, but they're close to finishing. Do you know what I mean? So wave 4 here, we could look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, I guess, and 5 coming up here. So, maybe there's another move up here for that and then folding over. So they're close to their top as well. That's all I'm saying. That's all I can say. So that's where that is. So coming back to the banks, we looked at CommBank on the financial sector. So we're looking for this to pull back and push up like that. We should have one position here. If you haven't, you could buy it back in here. We're going to keep the stop out of the way here, but it's really good now. As I mentioned, we've got that impulse wave there. So after a correction, then we're going to get another impulse wave. So I'll leave that up to you to decide what to do there. But just back in the bigger picture here to the daily chart, we're looking at, we're looking for, well, doesn't really represent it that good, but we'll be looking for a move up at the 110 at least, somewhere up there. And we're looking for 5 waves up. And yeah, so I mean we could go higher than this as well quite easily. Just remove that because yeah, we still need. Trouble is wave 1 was wave short, wave 3 was nice and long, so that means that wave 1 and wave 5 will be roughly the same. But obviously wave 1 being that short is not even going to take us across the high here. So in that case, you would get the length of wave 3 here, get the 61.8% of that, and then extend that from down at the bottom there. Or we could even, that will take us up to 110 at least at that point, or close to it. And you can also go this way, that will take us a little bit higher. So this would be, yeah, this would be a sort of area up here for that, but we can get into that a little bit more. But just to let you know that we need to be counting 5 waves up. Hopefully wave 4's done. It's a nice size, compared to the previous wave 4 and this wave 2 here. So yeah, I think it's all good to go, but we want evidence, and we got the first bit of evidence by having the impulse wave there, but now we want support on top of 100. Let's just check on ZNA, ANZ, what's that? Okay, so we talked about this yesterday too. So this is on the tick chart. It's got the same pattern down here as CBA, so we could look at it as an ABC pattern here. Once again, we've got We counted yesterday, little 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we called that in as a little top yesterday. So we're looking at this to pull back. Let's just clean this up a little, and we can look to go long here as well. So it can pull down further. It can pull down to here. It can pull down to 27.30. So we'll just remove that. I don't understand this here. So the gap doesn't make it any easier. I mean, I know that's corrective. So yeah, there's a bit to go on here. So I think that let's have a look at the levels. So let's just enlarge this level. Just because it's 28, that's a minor level, and that's super important. 8's the profit-taking number, as I call it. You could probably give it any name you wanted to, really. But so the other levels are, we've got 27, from $27 to $28, we've got 1, 2, and 3. So that's 27.30. That's where the market could come back to. So the Fibonacci numbers from 27 will be 1, 2, 3, and then 5, and then 8 in here. And with 8, we can look at group 2. So we can look at 27.65 in there, or 26, 27.20. That's that one. 27.20 and 26.50 in there somewhere. Oh, close. Not to worry, just putting the levels. That's all part of group 2 at that, in that degree of thing there. So what about, you could buy back in the box, and I don't know if we're going to be coming down there. I mean, I don't see why not. There's a bit of a gap there, but I can't count that. It doesn't make sort of much sense. So we'll put that here, all right? So you can see here, this test here was keeping the market down, wasn't it? Right. But if you see the market making a bit of an effort within group 2 here, 65, 72, and 8, and finding support in here, then that's your first sort of saving grace of your trade setup of moving in. So we want to get, once you see support coming in on, say, 72 here, once 72 here, 27.20 becomes the support, then you can start to figure out how to move in. But in a nutshell, we want to position below the 28 and we want to position above the 28. And if all goes well, what we could do is we could also just build in here. So from 28, we've got 10, 20, and 30. So to build in a few positions there would be good as well. The next one's 50, of course, and then back up to 80 here and so on. So we could, this is what group 1 is for. Group 1 is to get in here, to get, between 2 and 4 trades in here, to split it up, because as each one becomes support. So like with 28 here, when 28.30 becomes the tested support, then the market's not coming back to this number. But while this is doing this here, then that this is the swing range for 28, group 2 below and group 1 above. So group 1 finding support up here. So as this gets, as the market comes up through here, if you see the 28 as support, get a position, and then 28.10, if you see that get support, you could probably get a position in there, and on 2, and definitely on 3 here. That's the important one here. So it depends on how you want to build in, how much you love this bank, so to speak, or don't love it. Yeah, so let's just see how that plays out. Okay, over to the, Australia's just a little mining town, really. So let's go check on the iron ore price here. So this is iron ore from the China exchange. And what I know is that we'll be coming down to 1,000. Okay. We're going to be moving through this 61.8% support, and we're going to be dropping down into 1,000. Now, That's going to give us from wave B here, or wave C of B here, that's going to give us 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then wave 5 down here. Once that happens, that could be the low in the market, and we could just push up from that point. And then we can look at this, because we know this is in 3 waves here, this becomes, because it's got 3 waves, it can be just a flat correction. So it can come back just to the A wave area here and then move off from there. What we have to be a little bit mindful of is that from this top here down to here, that will give us 5 waves down here. So we could get an ABC back again and then have another 5 down and another, and get here. So a larger 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave C here. So that's quite possible as well. I don't know the answer to this just yet. So we'll see how that that plays out. We know that where's China here? Let's get China up here for a second. Let's just have a little look at China. So this is China, the daily chart, the A50, the top 50 here. So we can see it's falling out of bed. But I looked at this, and I looked at, if you can bear with me a second, I'm just going to go to my trading levels charting program, which is free to use, but you have to get your own metastock data. So this is a daily chart of the Shenzhen A shares, A class shares. So we're not seeing this drop off here. This is powering to the upside. And I can also say too, in the bigger picture from 2015 here, this move here is not impulsive. Parts of it is, of course, but it's corrective. So that means that we should be taking out that top there in due course. And if I had to label this, I would just label it, I'll just use a drawing thing rather than labeling it. We could look at this as wave 1 and 2 here. That would be wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and wave 5. I've lost that. That needs to go there, that needs to go there. Just giving you a bit of a picture here. So this is the Shenzhen, the A-class shares. So this is wave 1 here, and wave 2 over here for this. And then this is all the third wave here with 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in here, and then up for 5 for the third, the fourth pulling back to the fourth of 1 lesser degree, and the fifth wave moving up. So there will be a top here. I won't go in and count that. So that's the Shenzhen, and the Shanghai comp is much the same as well. Slightly different, but you can see here that we've got wave 1 here and an A and a B and a C here for wave 2, and then we're looking at 1 and 2 in here, and 3 and 4 and 5 for the third wave, so fourth wave and the fifth wave. So we're going to see Shanghai comp move up. So they're all sort of moving up. So those top 50 stocks that are moving down, I got a feeling that they are probably stocks that are sitting on NASDAQ or New York desk, a New York exchange, and they're getting hammered over there. So that's probably why this is occurring. But just to let you know that the rest of the story is up. Okay, so that's iron ore. I think we'll run through the commodities a little bit. So gold, I think gold's got to drop a little bit further down to 1780 before pushing higher. So just be mindful of that. We can go long. We had sort of triggers up here and here. We can bring them down to this point at the moment, but we'll probably end up, we'll just see how this plays out here. It's getting rather messy in here, but what I can say is this little move up here that we've just had is bullish corrective. So that means it will be coming down, basically. So we're going to be testing lower, a little sort of head and shoulders type thing, 2 shoulders here sort of thing. So we'll come back down here to that support over here, and then we'll check it out from that point. We're working a larger triangle pattern, but we'll have a look at that in the gold video. which I will do today. I didn't do it yesterday because there wasn't really any movement. If there's nothing movement there, I won't do it because it's just, I've just got too much to do. Okay, so that's gold. We'll have a look at what's next. Copper. So copper, we were looking at, I just want to check on the Australian dollar and the US dollar while we're here as well. We'll just come back to this. Let's just check on the Australian dollar. Okay. So I got that a little bit wrong, but not far wrong. So what we were looking at here, I can see the errors of my wave, 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. So 5 waves from B to C, and it's probably given us what we needed right on the 61.8%. Hauntingly accurate. And now we're moving up from that point. So sorry about that. I could have gotten you in, or maybe I talked about cutting a line through here or that or this. But anyway, yeah, I mean, off we go, basically. This is a tick chart. So we're just going to go back to the 4-hour chart just to glean some perspective, but we kind of know where we are here if you're into this. So what we were looking at yesterday, and just following on from here, so first of all, we know from the top here that this move down here is corrective. This is the same in the rally for the US dollar index as well. So doing the same thing in reverse, and also the yields are doing the same as well. So this will be an A and a B and a C wave down here. Now, one of the things here, we're counting down as 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third wave. The fourth wave here. Now, with the fourth wave here, I could see that we didn't really have a nice, what you call it here, an impulse wave here. So yesterday we started to talk about this in terms of an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to where this wave 2 is, and then having wave 5 down here. And the other reason we looked at this too is because we could count this up as an impulse wave. So we were looking to go long above this high here. So yeah, it's all played out. I'll just bring that closer down to the top there. Probably bring it down to this top. Shall we do that? It's always a little bit tricky at the top too, because this will end up being 5 waves up here. So you end up carrying a loss here. There's nothing I can really do about that because I wasn't there at the time, not here at the time. But this will react from this old high over here, and where all those open and closes are in here, that's kind of important. That's where you'll find that's where the most volume's been turned over. So there'll be something like that, you know what I mean? So I think there's 3 waves up here so far. There'll be 4 and 5 and then a pullback. So you could work this over here for that as well. So I'm going to change this now here. So we can just pull that out of the way. We'll put wave 1 here and wave 2 here. And wave 3 can go up there somewhere with wave 4 and wave 5 and so on. This wave 4 can go to here. And A, B, and C there. So it's a bit of an odd one, but we got there in the end. We didn't miss much. And then we can put wave 5 in play here for this. So we've got that turn in place there for this. So that's good. And there's your long trade. Taken a little while. So just with this here, we can expect this to go to, if this is corrective, we can expect this to go up here somewhere to 83, maybe more, probably more. But I'm just thinking about the first high above the level here. So at 80, we've got the arrival, the reaction, and the first high above the level. So we're looking for 5 waves up here. I probably need to upgrade these to a higher degree, but yeah, we're looking for 5 waves up to 83. That's pretty much how we can look at it at this stage. So that means that that helps support, well, about support, I mean, but copper. So the thing when we spoke about copper yesterday, other thing is that, I mean, based on the Australian dollar here, we should just go straight up from this point. That's what I'm thinking. But we know wave fours can get complicated, these wave fours. So it's possible that because this is all a little bit jaggedy here, it's obviously been spending time here for this. I mean, maybe we could look at it as wave one here with an A wave, a B wave, and some just doesn't make sense. This is like a B wave within itself. So, yeah, we just got to, we'll be optimistic and we'll be cautious, but it will all reveal itself at this number here if we give it enough time here. We will end up mirroring something like this here, so it's not going to be easy quickly. But yeah, I think that we could probably just dull that out to make it an alternative count at this point. So we'll just dull that out. We'll dull this out, but we won't forget about it, of course. And we'll dull that out there. Yeah, we'll probably have to remove the ABC pattern as well. And maybe we've got to call that in as the low. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe all this is part of that, and yeah, a little bit sort of tricky. But it has pulled back to the 38.2% retracement level here as a wave 4. And we're on the right track here with this, so I haven't looked at any of this yet, but we will get into that in due course. This will be 1 and 2 and 3 in here, and 4 and 5. So we'll just watch this sort of play out here for this. And also too, I might need to lift this up a degree of structure as well here. So I'll just do that as well. I know I'm not a very tidy person and accurate person and all that sort of stuff, but I get the job done. So yeah, all of this up here will be sort of some sort of wave 1 and 2 here that will tire out and pull back there. I'll just move these out of the way. It's just not going to be right, is it? I'm going to remove these so I can just, they don't confuse me when I can get a fresh look at it. Anyway, it hasn't come to me yet. Normally it just sort of, if I sit quietly for a while, then the information will come on the wind, as the Indians would say, sitting under a tree. Okay, so anyway, that's fantastic news, isn't it? I mean, that's going to be fantastic for BHP, which I did see BHP overnight shoot up. So that's copper. Let's have a look at crude before we look at the stocks. Crude. I also just want to have a quick look at India as well. So with India, that spike here is not, it's just part of this platform. It's not the real deal. So from here, we've got, it's quite a big wave 4 here actually compared to this one here, but I don't have any problems with this. This is still to the upside, so we've got a position here and here. This will be wave 1 here and 2 here and 1 here and 2 here and 1 here and 2 here. So I'm not quite sure about this. I'll have to, did I do anything on this? Let me just check. I did look at it. Yes, so just take a closer look in here for this. Talked about being long here, so we should just tidy this up a little bit. I won't take that as low, I'll take that as the low. And that would give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, I think. I could be mistaken about that, but we've definitely got a nice ABC here, pulling back somewhat. And then we would have this wave 1 moving off here again. So wave 1 here and wave 2 here. So we should be moving up further. This here, realistically, we would look at this as 5 waves up. That would be in the top. That's okay to do that. We would have brought it down to the second top here, or you may have even gone into that top, but it's that one, this one here, that top. So we would have had that top, that top. We don't need that now. Never really get to that one. 5, 8, so it's good to have that support on 8. This is all of group 2 here. The 16,000's important and the 17,000's important, but the 16,500 is more important. So what we want to do here at 16, we want to also look to add to our position on that side. So we want to take that, copy that. We want to go long again on the 16 here. Okay, we'll build in 2 positions on that side of it. Yeah. Looks good enough there. So sorry about that detour. Back to crude. So with crude here, we can look at wave 3 being in play here. We can look at this as being an ABC here. Well, there's a couple of different ways to look at it, as I talked about yesterday. First of all, we can put wave 4 here because we've got an ABC pattern here. So that can be in here. We can go straight up from that. I don't know if that's the case, and I don't know if this is going to just be the A wave here with an A and a B and a C wave here, and then pull back down from this point, coming back up into the 7.5 area through here, but it could just get away on us up that point, up that way. So on the, maybe it's on the tick chart, I've got this. Okay, so let's just go back over this. So from this move down here, we can look at this as 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3 and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for that. So that's taking us higher. That's hardly a correction at all there. My God. So that's impulsive. Does look like 5 waves down here though. Maybe we will come back down from that point. That's 5 waves to there. But then what is that? What's that? What have I missed here? I mean, it just looks too small to put that B wave in here, you know. I'll have to do some work on this, but taking that top out there is going to give us much more of a bullish count. Let me just go back and check here a little bit further. Let's go back further even still. Let's just check. See, we've got this clear A, B, and C wave here for this. So that can be wave 4 here. So, yeah, we've got I mean, yeah, I don't know, it just looks bullish to me. You know, I'm trying to make the, you know, trying to look for a decent size wave 4 here, but I'm just not really getting it here. I just need to go back over this here, just to check. Wave 1's okay. This is 1, and then 1, 2, 3 to 4 here. Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 maybe to here. Yeah, that's all good. And then this here, let's double check this. Okay, I'm going to have to ponder this. We'll give it another session just to see if it rolls over from here. This is almost like to here and then to here. And this is an A wave, a B wave, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave here. But why would you have an expanded flat in there? So I'll just give this a little bit more time, but there'd still be another move up here for that to roll over anyway, because we need to get 5 waves here. So yeah, this ABC business is not looking that crash hot, so we can almost put in wave 1 here and a close in of wave 2. I just give that another session because I was patient and waited for this to finish off here, and it's just not pulling back here. It's just following stock higher. So expect stock to turn, those indices. So, okay, so that's all of those guys. Let's have a look at stock. So, yeah, but US BHP was up nicely, so that's triggered in that's helped confirm a long trade in a way. So that's good. It's up like 3.5% nearly. So yeah. So I'm just thinking, but it's all good here now because we didn't make that low. We didn't make that. We didn't make a new low below here, so that keeps this all intact here. That was the point. We'd been talking about that, so I don't need to repeat that. So yeah, I just think we'll just continue up. And now that we're seeing copper move up, that's another fantastic thing. But in one way or another, that might react from the 80, or it might burn through it, or whatever. But we should, what I mentioned before as well, normally we'd see some sort of, first high above the level. And then a sort of a corrective pattern. But I don't think we'll see that because we've got this, all of this across here. Let's just take it from, take it from the middle here, really. We'll take it across here. This is like an accumulation process through here. This is where, the accumulation occurs, and then this would be the distribution over here. So yeah, so it's not going to, we're not going to get the normal classic trading levels pattern here. It's just going to burn straight through it. There may be some little thing in here, but nothing dramatic, nothing dramatic in here. So yeah, this should turn out to be a reasonable trade here. And local BHP was also up as well, so that's good. We'll just clean these up, just talking about things here from yesterday and beyond. So our primary count is wave 3 here, with wave 4 here, with wave 1 here and 2 here, and then moving up into wave 3. So can we have a wave 3, please, over here? So it'll be something over here somewhere. Once again, the accumulation process below the 50 here is strong. So I kind of see it just continuing to move on from this point. I don't think we're going, normally we'd look at the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level and so on. But because we've spent all this time here already, this is like, you know, this is like a spring being loaded here. So this will just continue to like cruise up from this point. And we don't even need these guys now, I don't think. I don't think we've got some sort of running flat here. We'll just leave that for the time being. So yeah, we've just been building in around here. That's what we've been doing, and you can just continue to do that if you like, because this needs to unwind and move to the upside with all of this. So yeah, we need to start going in here on the intraday and start checking on things. But I have to say, in terms of understanding this particular structure here, I think FMG really, or was it Rio? No, FMG had the best count here, because if we just bring FMG up here for a moment, that could be our template here. So our template was that we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 in here, and 3 and 4 here, and going up for wave 5. So we're in blue wave 3 and 4 here, and then we'll go up for 5 here to make this 3. So this is the same for BHP and Rio. It's just that their counts will be the same, but they'll just be a little bit more warped, unfortunately. So you just need to be a bit philosophical, because US BHP came all the way back to here, closed, but didn't take that low out there and then moved off there. And local BHP kind of did the same. And also Rio as well. Rio's got a few mine delay problems, but it's also got this wave 3 here all a little bit squashed up here. So maybe we'll count them differently, but this is, you know, it's always nice to find a market that's got a nice clean wave count that you can use as a template, because it just helps you. So like when we look at Rio next, we'll see that that green wave 3 that you're looking at is all a little bit squashed up here, even though but I haven't got it here. So I need to kind of rethink this a little bit, because on FMG we got this as 1 and 2 here, and then 3 and 4 here, because it's stretched out nicely in here, but Rio hasn't done that. So yes, Rio can have a different count, but looking at FMG, it's just quite clear what's going to happen. So this means that we're just going to be cruising through here. There will be some sort of retest of the support here before we move up higher here. Yeah, so that's it. We should have got one below the level and one above the level. Sorry about that, but yeah. I mean, it's good to go with the markets that have got the best, you know, the leading stocks have the range in them. Followers are safer to trade, but they don't have the range. They won't give you the profit. So that's those guys. I do want to have a look at the US dollar. I just want to see how that's turned. I haven't seen that today, so just... that's not it there. So where's my, I haven't even got it out yet. Check it out. So this is the US dollar here. This is just a daily chart. Very much like the Australian dollar in reverse. We know the Australian dollar had 3 waves here, so we could see it as the A wave. Like it being corrective makes whatever happens over here corrective as well. So we looked at this as the A wave, the B wave. We've been counting up here for the C wave. We've got a possible top in play, but we needed to confirm that with a move lower. So one of the other things I was looking at here is that it's okay for the market to trade above the 93 here, because it can come back up to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, and the lower end here would be the 38.2% retracement level, and it still may do that. But I was kind of like expecting it to have the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then fail to find support on here and then slip down from that point, you know. But you can see that a trend's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. So when we're looking at this trend here, it's obvious we've got our building process, then we've got the middle, and then we've got the end here where the market starts to creep. You know, creeping means that the lows and the highs get taken out all the time, you know, where you don't see that in the trend itself. So, you know, it's creeping, it's struggling, and so on. So I'll just have a look at the So it was a little bit sort of rough to count at this point. We've got wave 3 here and wave 4 here in green, and then we're looking for wave 5 in green here. I wasn't sure if to put this in over here on this top and call that in here. We had some things that were positive in terms of putting that top in there. We had this move down here in 5 waves, so that was a possibility. And the next thing was we've got this correction here, that's good, and then we've got this here. But like to confirm this now, this move here, I mean, because this could just be a little A, B and C wave here. Do you know what I mean? So we kind of need to see 5 waves in this move here. So we kind of need to see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. That's what we need to see. Probably something like that here, I guess. Let's just see how this plays out here. I mean, we've probably got a top in play, which is good. But we need to see this as a 3rd wave here, not wave C. So we kind of won't really know until wave 4 over here for this. Anyway, just got to spend some time there. And I've started to do some work on the 10-year yields and the longer term bonds and all sorts of things. But I'm not ready to sort of move into that space just yet for these guys. Let me just check here for a second. Anyway, I should be doing this in the this is the 10-year yields here. So yeah, just going back over all of this and trying to get this into play here. So it still looks quite bearish, but one of the things for the 10-year government bonds here is that I know that the move up through here, that's fine, but it could also move back up to the wave 4 1 lesser degree here. So that was what I was kind of thinking. Is this going to be an A wave, a B wave and a C wave moving up here for this, or do we just crash from this point and extend this move down through here lower than this? But I've got to the point where I think this is an A wave, a B wave and a C wave up here. We need to get to wave 4 and then down to wave 5. That's on the monthly. Let's just see if I've done anything on the weekly here on this particular chart. Yeah, see, this is what I was kind of thinking here for this. Yeah, so I'm thinking that this these yields, 10 years, and probably the 20 and the 30s, and would do the same thing as well. But picking up from here and pushing up here as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here. So I still need to do some more work in all of this here. Yeah, I mean, it's close to the 50-60% retracement level. Well, not that that matters. It's just hitting this block of supply over here, really. That's just mirroring that, you know, as things do. But if this is like, say, like the Australian dollar or even copper that have been moving down, and there is a, you know, the copper gold ratio has worked with these yields for years. So I'm sort of bringing that in as well. This is the copper gold, just on a weekly chart here. This is the copper gold ratio. So this also has a you know, the copper and the gold basically offset each other. You know, it's the Dr. Copper part of it coming into play. But anyway, I'll get into that later. So I'm going to leave it at that. And all of this US economy stuff can come in on the US charts or something. So yeah, just let's just recap the ASX for a moment, and it would be great if the in this, well, we've still got to get past wave 1 and 2 here. So once this gets resolved, and it may be that we start buying on Thursday again, you know what I mean? But the way that it's looking like we're going to have the banks and the resources running in the same direction. So that means a very strong market for the ASX. So let's just allow the Australian market to top out. This is the this is the Nasdaq here. Let's see if this tops out after its little 5 waves up, and that pullback that we're looking for in most of the indices will come into play, and that will create a nice long trade for index traders, but also the banks and the resources. I think they'll all move together and create a nice trend. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Cheers.